Hi, church family. It is June 11th, Thursday, and the purpose of this video is to give some instructions and share with you what you can expect when you show up in person for our church service this Sunday, which feels really good to say after 15 weeks of not being together. And so I'll give some kind of instructions and then some encouragements as we go along. And so with that, the first thing you need to know is, if you didn't know this, you do have to sign up in order to come to save a seat, because we're only allowed so many seats. 50 in our sanctuary, 27 in our chapel. And that is why we're doing two service times, an 8:30 service and a 10:30 service. And as you look online, whether it's on a computer, you'll see it all at once, or if you're doing it on a cell phone, you'll have to scroll down and see the four different services you can sign up for. And so just go online and sign up if you haven't already. If you are unable to sign up, it's most likely because that service is full. And I think there's a little bit of space left in one of the early services. But if you're not able to get on and sign up anywhere, call the church office and see if, and leave a message, and someone will get back to you. And so that's so we can keep and honor those restrictions as far as how many people are in the building at one time. And as far as the logistics of that goes, the building really is going to be split in two. We're seeing this as two different church buildings, same church during this time. And so if you are signed up for a sanctuary service, you'll park by the sanctuary or behind the sanctuary. You'll come in the main sanctuary doors and go right into the sanctuary. And if you are signed up for the chapel, you'll go through or enter in the door, the side door by the office. You'll park next to the chapel, enter the side door by the office, and then go into the sanctuary. There'll be attendants and greeters and ushers to kind of help give direction, but we can't have people that are signed up for the chapel come in the main door and people that are signed up at the chapel come in the sanctuary door. That defeats the whole purpose of trying to keep this separation for the purpose of the service. So anyway, a few other things just to say, and I'm saying this as gently as possible, but if you are signing up and if you are showing up on Sunday, first off, you need to sign up or call and get signed up. But by doing so, you're agreeing to a few things. And let me say what you're agreeing to and then give some closing comments. First off, you're agreeing to self-screen. So if you don't feel well, or if you have a temperature, or if you have a cough, please stay home. That's the first thing. So if you are agreeing to sign up and come and don't feel well, don't come. Now, the others, if you are going to come, you need to understand you're coming with the understanding that you need to wear a mask while you're here throughout the service. And so we would ask that you would bring your own mask. If you don't have one or a bandana, we will provide you with a mask. But please bring your own mask. I'll talk about that and why that's talk about that in just a moment. Same thing with social distancing. We have to maintain some distance, which is so frustrating because we are, many of us are huggers, and we have to keep that distance during this special season, an interesting season of time that we're in. And then the last one is that you need to understand we need to keep a record of who's in the building throughout this pandemic for up to 2 weeks. So the service this week, we need to keep record of who's in the building. That information will not be shared with anyone except the health department, and only if there's an outbreak. If there's no outbreak, there's no sharing of any information or names, I should say. So we will shred those names after 2 weeks. We're required to keep 2 weeks at a time on file because of the purpose of an outbreak. So you need to know those things. And I just say, if you're coming, honor those things, because none of us want to play police, and so that's just not our call. So the last thing I'll say just about this whole thing is, I know it's a difficult season, and some of you have sent me messages or called me and said, I just don't feel comfortable coming because of maybe the health concerns, or a family member has some concerns, and I live in the same household, and you have expressed some form of like guilt. And I just want to say there's no guilt, there's no condemnation. Don't feel bad at all. You have the right and the freedom and the complete, if I even have to say, which I don't, blessing from me and from us to stay home until you feel comfortable. And I know that there's also some that feel fine and yet aren't coming because there's no way you're going to come to your church and have to wear a mask. Or you're going to come to your church and not be able to hug the people, and you think that's ridiculous. And at some levels, I do as well. And so you've made the choice not to come. And with zero manipulation and zero guile, I want to say this: I disagree. Yet I absolutely respect and even understand why you're making that stand. I'm choosing a different, I guess, outcome than you are. In my frustration, but I don't want you to feel any less because you're not here, or think that there would be any judgment from me or from us because you have that conviction. And I just ask the same for you, that you would not make those judgments upon us. This is such a difficult situation in the sense where we have never had to deal with stuff like this before. And so for many of us, we live in such a comfortable society, and we've never truly, most of us, felt real persecution for our faith. And this yet is the closest that we've maybe felt to having our rights being infringed upon or even kind of taken away. And so there's lots of opinions on, is that what's happening here? Or is this just simply, is this all health concern? Well, again, there's opinions all over the board, but to be able to make some decisions on how to move forward is tough, and almost nobody agrees on all of the specific and the details and how we do this and whatnot. And so what I just ask for all of us is us to have grace, knowing that we're really all about the gospel of Jesus Christ, and this is forcing us to be people who are quick to listen and hopefully slow to become angry, and slow to speak. And that's hard for a lot of us. So I just challenge us to really be gracious towards those who feel differently in this particular space, and not to judge one another for that. Lord willing, this is a short season and we're back to be able to meet, but if we'll just see, we'll have to see how this whole thing plays itself out. And the last thing I just want to say, just a challenge for all of you, as we walk through this time where there's no normal, and many of us are feeling anxiety, and many of us are feeling insecure, fearful, angry, frustrated, maybe all of those things, I challenge us just to keep our eyes fixed upon Jesus, the author and the perfecter of our faith. Keep your eyes set on the things above, not on things of this earth, and treat one another with those things in mind. God will keep in perfect peace those who keep their mind steadfast, stayed, fixed upon him, Isaiah 26:3. And the reason he will keep them in peace is because they trust in him. And so I challenge us all in this season, difficult as we work through this, to be eager, maintain the unity of the Spirit, the bond of peace, and keep our eyes fixed on the Prince of Peace. I love you, and I look forward to seeing those of you who are going to be here Sunday, and those of you who aren't, seeing you sometime soon. Bye-bye.